can identify by some minutes, not those who were imposed by exploiters who gain from you and I propose we build our own monuments, honoring those who fought for our upliftment, like those who led slave rebellions on the plantation, politicians, voting and cultural icons. It's time we gave them more than token mention, made them heroes of the Caribbean. It's a conspiracy to erase our history, so let's make haste and embrace that legacy. Take Queen Anne of Jamaica, Buster of Barbados, Coffin Guyana, King Cole in Antigua, Marcus of the Woods in St. Kitts. They must be amongst the heroes of the Caribbean. Henry Christoph, Louverture, Jessalina Bookman should be immortalized evermore for the slave rebellion that made Haiti that first black independent nation. Name them
heroes of the Caribbean.
How do you document our development if there are no monuments along the way, recording our history for posterity should be the priority. Now that we have a say. Good morning to our viewers and listeners around the globe. You're logged on for another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, and of course you're logged on to WinFM 98.9. And it's Wednesday, the 23rd day of October. And for those who see me, you see I'm bursting a sweat. I actually had a flat on the way in, had to stop to get that sorted. And guess what? My guest jumps to just let me know they went to another radio station, but they're on the way here. So we're going to have a fine time this morning with this presentation. But of course, we have to pause first of all to give credit to our sponsors, without whom this program would not be possible. And we'll continue at the other end.
What has you so happy? My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it. What? Which network you have? Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
TDC Financial Services, we're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services, we are strong. TDC Financial Services, this is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Once again, welcome back and a very pleasant morning to all our viewers and listeners around the world. Let's say good morning, good afternoon, good evening in whatever time zone you find yourself. You're logged on to WinFM. And good morning to Rosemary Donald. She just said
to she's happy, I'm in a good mood. Actually, yes. I'm in aches and pains from the fall I took a couple days ago, but life goes on and you roll with the punches. Brenda O'Neill, how you doing up there? Hope your friend is doing okay. As for Jennifer Richards, she said she saw me a couple days ago, didn't say any bruises, but yes, it's okay. We're still moving on. Morning to Sister Henry, Dr. Mervyn Leader up there in the U.S. Hope you're having a great time. He's getting ready to get the new songs for this crop of Calypso for the 2024 Well Sugar Mass season. We'll send you what we have ASAP. Dr. Sweeney, I'm told you might be here for the 70s Calypso Bacchanal. The Fancy and those guys are coming out of their hole, dust up the cobwebs. We're going to have a great show. It's a Lions-sponsored Calypso showcase featuring Calypsonians or songs from the 70s, cuts aboard, Kinter board. Fancy, as I mentioned, is going to be a great production. In the meantime, and between time, I think my guests have just arrived. But just saying hello to just about everybody out there. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of October. Still a bit overcast. It's cool down to Ambassador. Another beautiful day in paradise. And want to send special greetings up there to Bag of Sugar. She knows who she is and where she is and all that's happening. So, yes, we have a couple of topics on the table today. One would be with the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Committee of Society. They're actually making their way in. So after the CTED, we get into that discussion. But I want to raise a topic that has been affecting the Federation, I would say, around the globe for some time. Well, the world over. And it entails the whole issue on the topic of bullying. I have a friend who has a child, one of his children, who's been affected by that and was wanting to come on the media and discuss it. But he said there was some aspect of mediation ongoing between the parents and the school principals, and he didn't really want to do that because the child might be affected. But I saw a clip this morning that really brought this back to the forefront of something that ought to be discussed. I'll play it at the most appropriate time, and hopefully I can have the public weigh in on their take on that particular topic. I want to say good morning to Mr. Brandon Powell. Welcome to the airways of WinFM 98.9. I understand you went elsewhere.
Yes, I guess I wasn't focusing on
You didn't listen too well.
Yeah.
But you're in the right place at the right time.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so you're here. I'll give you a moment to settle in and then introduce you properly.
Sure.
With your big name and your accolades and speak about your accomplishments and stuff like that, right?
I mean, some would say it's big.
You have a big name, right?
Well, so them say. So
Powell is a big name.
So they say. Well, yeah, so they
But
say.
Brandon has a unique.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a uniqueness to it.
Well, welcome to NFM. We were
It's a pleasure.
speaking 2 days ago about another issue. And I asked you, why don't you come on and speak about your recent accomplishments, your group, and what you mean to the Federation and the future of technology for the region. So I was saying that you are the president, correct me if I'm wrong, of the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Society Committee. What is that?
So I guess this is where I correct you. So I am the executive director for the St. Kitts and Nevis
That's why you're
Robotics
here.
Association and the president of the Eastern Caribbean Robotics Association.
Would you mind repeating that? Because that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. Let's hear it.
So from the top, I'm the executive director for the St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association and the president of the organization of the Eastern Caribbean States Robotics Association.
And based on what I know about you, our future in terms of technology is well placed in your hands?
Well, yes, I would like to think so.
Okay. You recently, I'm going to jump forward, were showcasing your skills in a competition. Was it a robotics competition in Greece?
Yes, it was an international robotics Olympics, where
Olympics.
where the entire world come together and focus on food sustainability. That was the theme around the challenge this year in Athens, Greece, where young people was put to the challenge for them to construct from scratch a robot that does a series of objectives to complete a task, to accumulate points for them to target food sustainability across the world.
Okay.
We have another
How are
member
you?
coming in.
We
as
have
well.
some more talent coming, not
Yes.
a problem.
Are we live?
Yes, we're live. So I think I'm going to place him on the side
Oh, you want him on this side?
because the camera's right there.
Come over here. Hitan.
So, I know you're handsome, but you don't really want to block the camera. So this mic would be yours. Try to get one of these headphones. We have a little issue. Give us a break. You know what? Let's take a station break at this moment and sort this out first, and then we'll come back. Fair enough? All right.
UINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Buster, pour it up, meet the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living full color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life.
What has you so happy? My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, chip, chip. We wanna get chip, chip, chip.
Once again, to our viewers and listeners, welcome back to today's presentation of Voices. And Mr. Powell, we have been joined momentarily, but what again? By one of your colleagues. So, if you care to the introductions, and we continue our discussions. Pardon? Yes, I was asking Mr. Powell to introduce his colleague.
Yes, with me, we have here today Hitan Samtani. I'll let Hitan actually introduce himself and let you know of his status.
I think I saw him on the presentation in Greece.
Yes, he was actually with us in Athens.
Yep.
All right, so let's hear your claim to fame.
So I'm the program director for SKNRA, and this year I was volunteering for First Global in Athens.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the listeners that don't know what that means, St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association grew to the point where we're able to have volunteers participate in the logistics and the organizing of the international event. Not just not just a competitor, but they also get involved with the logistics, the organization. I think Hitan's position at the time was a field resetter.
Yeah.
So that was
a robot and a robot inspector.
Care to give an elaborate detail of what that means or what that?
Okay,
that
so a robot inspector has like some specifications that they have to follow to ensure that the robots are up to standards and are not breaking any rules of the competition before they actually go into the event.
So you vet them before they go on display,
right?
Yes,
for demonstrations?
that's what we had to do. So that's is like a physical check to make sure that they have
meet all the specs.
Yeah, all the specs and the
requirements.
And there's the limit to how many parts that they have, and as well as the size, and also the programming of the digital part of the robot, where they check to see if there's nothing that their like their connection is stable and not
Not loose.
Weak.
Right.
Yeah. Not
So
weak. Among other things. Yeah.
So what they do is they limit your resources within the competition scope. So they give you a set of materials and also a set of instructions to follow. So, for example, the coding, you could use Java. You could do raw Java from scratch, or you could do Java blocks to build your bot. But if you go outside the scope of Java, that's illegal for the competition terms. So you can't use Python, you can't use C++, you can't use Angular, you can't use any other programming languages but Java. But it has to be blocks or raw Java code. In regards to the building materials, they give you a dimensional size, a width, height, length, for you to be within that build parameters. So if you go, because there are some students that really wants to go crazy with the building, right? But that's also the limitation put in place to make sure that you could work under pressure within a certain confined space. And that's a very big deal for a young person to do, to have control.
Challenge.
Right. You're challenging your cognitive abilities to think outside the box, but also within a space, right? So you're limited to what you can solve. So now it forces you to become creative with your materials. So let's say you want a claw, but they didn't give you a claw. So now we have to build a claw from your materials from scratch. So you put together this bolt, that arm with that arm, that 90-degree bracket with that 90-degree bracket, and in essence, at the end of it, you have an actual functional claw with a servo motor attached to it. So it forces you to become creative with your thinking. So that's why they did it that way.
And the purpose of this entire exercise is to tap into the intelligence of the
young
generation out there.
Right, correct.
Push you into an environment where you compete and compare and learn from each other.
Yes, but two of the biggest objectives is also to form international collaboration, make friends, meet new people, exchange cultures, and also the other one is to problem solve today's challenges across the world. Right. Remember, I did mention to you the theme this year was food sustainability. So we were more targeting agriculture-based issues within the theoretical aspect of the Robotics Association. So they give you it's an actual issue, but they put it in a way where young people can understand and also have healthy competition for them to accumulate points and win. But at the end of it, they will understand exactly what is food sustainability and how they can help to preserve food and also to help to promote different aspects of growing food safely and securely within your culture, within your...
And that's what they do pre-competition, where they make you do research documents and providing like solutions how you can solve issue of food and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, as well as pre-competition, you have to share your cultural and the history of your country and stuff like that. And that also is a part of the competition that gives you points and bonus points.
Right. So leading up to the competition, you still have a series of yes.
So there's a ranking score for matches, and then there's that pre-competition stuff.
Right, the pre-competition stuff. As a matter of fact, during the pre-competition, what teams did you guys interacted with, virtually?
Well, we met a number of countries. We met Kosovo, I think.
Kosovo?
I believe so, and
Seychelles
Poland, Seychelles, and Vietnam, Japan. What other countries were there? Yeah. Kazakhstan? I'm not too sure about
I think
that
Kazakhstan
one.
was
I'm
one of
not
them.
sure.
So there's a number of them. So they actually interacted with these young individuals, and also they show a presentation of
cultural exchange.
Right, they call it a cultural exchange. So it goes beyond just building a robot and going to compete. You're actually interacting with people, exchanging cultures, showcasing what their country's made of, what we have to offer, what they have to offer, different times to come, best time to come during the year. So they do have those interactions or those conversations where you're exposed. You feel as though you're actually there with them within their country space, so you could experience what they have.
So there's like a common language in terms of the technology used?
The common, within the technological aspect, the common language would be Python. Sorry, not Python, Java.
Okay. Before we come to what you guys were able to achieve in Greece recently, give us some of the the foundations of your organization, where you started, what you've achieved so far, because I've seen you in other forums before.
So the St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association is 8 years strong this year.
8 years.
Yeah. We to this point we grew a long way. We have 22 directors, myself as the executive director, the chairman, and then the vice chair, as well as 700 plus members within the organization. We have members outside of St. Kitts and Nevis that are from St. Kitts and Nevis originally that still play a part within the organization. We are governed by 11 mandates. Currently, I cannot name them off the top of my head, but we have 11 mandates that we hold very dearly to our hearts. It's on our website, actually, listed there. What we tend to do is to promote STEAM. STEAM, not just meaning robotics. STEAM
is that an acronym?
STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, across all aspects of disciplines. So, let me just explain what that means. So STEAM can be applied to any subject areas within the current educational system today. But what most people don't know is how, right? So, for example, you could apply STEAM in physical education. You could apply STEAM in history. You could apply STEAM in mathematics. So this is what we are gearing up. Well, this is what we're doing right now, is to raise awareness in STEAM. As of recently, we've traveled to four different Caribbean countries within the summer period, between July up until now. And every time we travel to these countries, we hosted our robotics camps, and also we were given the task to train teachers in Tortola, in BVI, the British Virgin Islands.
So the contingent from SKN?
From SKNRA, right. So
you're big on your large, man.
So we had a group session with all their STEAM, well, mostly STEAM teachers, but other teachers within other aspects as well. Those who are also confused as to how to implement STEAM within their current subject areas. So I could safely say after the workshop, everything was clear and concise, and they have a better understanding of how they can implement it within their respective school.
I first became aware of your organization, not you in particular, any individual, by a presentation by ZSZ.
Really?
That's some years ago.
Yeah.
Some accomplishment. I think you had won an award or some accomplishment, and I was like, wow.
Me personally, or the association?
The association. I was unaware that there was a robotic team and they were actually accomplishing things. Then I'm thinking, robot, you build something. That's my limited view of the whole thing.
Right.
So when I saw the information that you guys were presenting in Greece, and I think you placed, in terms of the ranking, was it 7th?
Well, it
was 7th.
It was the 20th. So we were there focusing on our working. Students were definitely involved. I must say, let me take a moment to pause to recognize the students that was actually participating, representing St. Kitts and Nevis for us this year. All of them was well in sync. They were working very well together, and they were under a lot of pressure, and they didn't budge, right? So they were focused, and they knew what they had to do, and they came out and they executed. I have no word to describe how they executed, but executed flawlessly of what was expected. So they even went beyond our own expectations of how they participated and represented us. And let me just acknowledge our supporters, because after that showcase of what they did in Greece, we had a lot of support on the social media aspect as well. Okay. And students as well, I think to this very day, they're still getting the congratulations, good job, and those type of things. So, yeah, guys, wherever you are, if you're listening to this, you did an awesome job, and we definitely would love to keep the momentum going forward.
What I saw as part of your interview, sir, because you were like the face and the voice there. I didn't see you at all. I don't know why, but I saw part of your interview. And I was, of course, very naturally impressed with the whole thing. Because you were saying that out of how many countries entered, your place, I forgot the where you placed in the ranking?
Yeah. So in the initial stage, we were actually placed in the
20th.
20th
so
out of how many countries?
220 countries. Yeah, almost 200 countries across the world. And that alone is a big feat, because...
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the smallest Caribbean countries within the world. So we're competing against first world countries, and we're able to, head toe-to-toe with these individuals and really slug it out with them from a technological perspective, right? Because it's known to be that the Caribbean region isn't really big on tech versus the first world countries.
First world countries.
Yeah, so they're mostly far ahead of us in terms of tech. But that does not mean that we're not capable of speaking their language or solving the same problems that they're solving or coming towards the same objective that they're doing, So we definitely have those capabilities within our own network, within our own culture, within our own countries. But it's just that we are lacking the necessary resources for us to do so. So that is why one of the reasons why the St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association was formed, for us to provide these opportunities, these resources towards these young persons for them to target or achieve a large technological goal.
So within those schools and colleges, is there a program of recruitment for those folks?
For SNRA?
Yeah.
So SNRA is a non-profit, non-government organization. We have an open registration. As of right now, we have an open registration, so all persons are welcome to apply. I think right now we close our registration because we're having an induction ceremony for those who registered for the past couple of months. We had registration come in. So what we do at the end of the year, we have an induction ceremony, amongst other ceremonies, award ceremonies, where we recognize the applicants and we give them their certificate of membership. And this is a formal ceremony that you actually have to attend to, formal attire, you present it, you take your photo up, and then you're awarded membership within the organization.
Okay, your voice is kind of dropping. You're getting comfortable with your voice is dropping.
Sorry. So at the ceremony, the induction ceremony, this is where they will get awarded the membership certificate, and they will be coming up to getting their photo up and these type of things. So this is something that we do annually. So it's not like if you apply today, you just automatically be accepted.
8 years now.
Yeah, 8 years. This is how we do it every single year. So we have a group of members, the newly inducted members that applied. We take that pool of membership, we have a ceremony, and we celebrate the applicants. Because what we tend to do within the association, we hold ourselves to a very high standard, right? So things are accomplishments are meant to be celebrated. Accomplishments are meant to be recognized, not just saying congrats. We actually celebrate your accomplishments, because what you did is actually indeed a good feat, even if it's just to make the decision to come and join us, to be involved in what we're doing. From 7 years ago to now, as you can see, we grow expeditiously, right? So we need all the assistance that we could get if they are willing to just come on board, because that's why we actually made our registration free. So you could come on board, you could assist us with our missions, our visions, and also you could also be exposed to certain opportunities. And we see that you're indeed ambitious and you're willing to, your drive is there. We will be supportive, 100%. As long as you're with us, your family.
We'd have to break for another commercial moment, but when we return, I would like to speak to your vision. Say 5 years from now, where are we?
Okay.
And what the ultimate aim is. Okay, so we take us downtown to give Caesar his due, and when we return, we continue with Mr. Powell. And you, sir? I forget your name?
Hitton Zamtani.
Okay, I'm going to have to work on that.
I'm not sure if I introduced myself, my name. Yeah.
I think you said it. He said it, but
he said it, but I just said my positions.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Downtown Jam, sir.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
The Rotary Club of Lyomega presents its 18th primary school spelling bee competition. primary schools from across St. Kitts will battle for the title Rotary Spelling Bee Champ 2024. Come on out and support your schoolmate, neighbor, family, or friend. Free giveaways and a packed snack bar await you. Thursday, October 24th at 4 p.m. The place to be is the ECCB Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium to cheer on your favorite speller. Admission is free. Don't miss the Rotary Club of Lyomega 2024 Primary School Spelling Bee Competition. Premier partners, Rams, Halle Orange, Fruiter, and Shirley.
What has you so happy? My home internet just got upgraded and I didn't even have to pay for it. What? Which network you have? Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 300 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
And we have a chit chat with Mr. Brandon Powell and his colleague. They are of the St. Kitts Esken Robotics Association.
Right.
I need to be corrected from time to time.
Yes.
And the break, I was asking about your vision. Say, where would you be, or would you like to be, what would you like to see for your association system 5 years from now? What standing you hoping to be?
Well, I would like to jump in right here and said I would love for some sort of technological, well, I call it a technological revolution for St. Kitts and Nevis through the efforts of the Robotics Association, where we have an open door policy on solutions that are affecting us, and instead we outsource. We stay right here and we look at our own capable persons within our own confined country. And that is one of the reasons why our association is pushing so hard to form international relationships for us to get the proper exposure to what solutions are tailored out there so we could recreate it and have it made of our own accord. Right.
What about local partnerships? Are you finding any reception?
Of course. Yeah, we do have some local partnerships. Some companies are already on board. Some are still in process of filing some sort of partnership. As a matter of fact, our recent partnership was with the Republic Bank this year for our Robo Mindset Summer Camp. So they were our platinum sponsor for that camp this year. They made it possible for us to facilitate 100 plus young persons across St. Kitts and Nevis to take part in our annual robotics summer camp.
What about your travels to Greece? Was it facilitated by, say, the government?
Our travels to Greece.
Mm-hmm. If you want to wait on
I can speak to myself. I was given flights. My flight was paid for by First Global.
First Global.
Yes, First Global.
So our platinum.
What is First Global?
That is the competition that we attend in Greece. That is the organizer for the event. It's called.
Because you were mainly an inspector in the world of police in the.
No, not mainly. Mainly, so every my position was part-time of robot inspector, so I was doing that and I was doing field reset.
Okay.
So be on the field, fixing up resetting the field and organizing it so I can help.
Right. So what we do, we encourage individuals who wants to take part in our initiative to travel to also apply for the First Global Volunteer position.
Okay.
Because once you're there, St. Kitts and Nevis is recognized. So any applicants that comes from St. Kitts and Nevis or comes under St. Kitts and Nevis,
they can apply.
Right, and they would know exactly who you are and what you want to do and how serious we are about getting involved. And because of our relationship with them, because we have a working relationship with them, not just a friendly relationship, because of our working relationship with them, they would, let's say, you would be favored more within their selection process.
Okay.
Yeah, so like on that, like they invite me, they accept me every year because of I'm committed, they've said I'm committed for field resetting. So
right. And even in, I think it was 2022, I was appointed the judge position.
The judge?
I was the judge of the entire competition at one point in time, yeah.
So when I see downtown, like, I say, hey, Yeah.
So with the what they do, if they see that you're serious and you're capable, they would sponsor everything for you: your flights, your hotels, your transportation, your meals, everything that they would cater for you. The only thing you have to do is jump on a plane and go.
One of the things I may have discussed with you briefly is the aspect or the perception that the young people, and this is where some people in society, not only here, lump groups together and give it a negative connotation. We've had challenges with the young people and crime and social issues.
Right.
And so we use a blanket phrase, the young people them did this and the young people them did
That's
that.
true.
And that bothers me.
That's true.
That bothers me because we have so many of our young people who are positively inclined on these quote-unquote right path,
Right.
but they don't get a recognition.
Yeah, and sometimes they're
or
not
even the
supported.
encouragement.
Yeah.
Even encouragement, but something negative. And we lump people together and we write them off. And that is so
true.
So wrong.
Sometimes it's just that one negative person within the group would just poison the entire group entirely. Because let's say you didn't know me and you see me with a particular person, you would then judge the
association.
Right, you'll judge me by association. As opposed to actually knowing what I'm doing or know what I'm involved in.
But that's why I thought it was important for you guys to come on this platform and speak to what you do, what you represent, what you have accomplished, what your vision is as say young people, right? Upwardly mobile, etc. And serious with the craft. We hear about technology and robots and so on. And okay, I'm from the caveman era, so I have no clue. But I have to respect and applaud you and many like yourselves who are doing that, because when I was at home and saw this team from St. Kitts in Greece, I'm like, it's a point of pride.
It is.
It's so much that we have to be grateful for, and thank you guys, and you make us proud. So this is why one reason why you're here, to sort of reintroduce yourself to those who know you, those who don't know you, and speak to the encouragement of other young persons who may have aspirations but don't know the channels.
Right.
So whatever information you can share for people who might want to tap into your association, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, our association is pretty much public now. I'm easy to get to by social media, by the association, or even by name. Just asking around who's Random Powell, and first thing they will say, "Oh, he's a part of the Robotics Association."
But your contacts, your website, and stuff like that.
The web, everything is for me is on the website sknra.org, www.sknra.org, or you could visit our social media pages at sknra.
Well, I speak fast and speaks, but you're way ahead of me. And you're speaking rather softly, so please.
So it's www.sknra.org, and then you could go to the About Us page and you'll see all of our contact information.
Okay. You say something?
No, I'm gonna ask you a question. I don't know if I can say it here.
Well,
no.
Have a little silent confab.
So part of one of my reasons for actually traveling this year especially is because the team was focused on the team objective, meaning the competition, the planning, the logistics, the robot, make sure testing, everything is working fine. My objective was at the point, well, in the position of the president of the organization of the Eastern Caribbean Robotics. Right, in my capacity at that position, where I had a roundtable meeting. We personally call a roundtable meeting with the organizers, the partners, and also the suppliers for these large events. And we had the voice. Well, we had their listening ears. Well, I should say they had our voice in the meeting, as well as our partners within the region, our Caribbean partners within the region, where we are planning something called a super regional challenge within the
super
regional challenge within the Caribbean. Here, we would love for it to be right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're still currently awaiting on some sort of response for letters that we sent to our relevant personnel, right? So right now we are finalizing our plans for the super regional challenge, and we are intend to officialize it in December of this year, and more logistics and details would definitely come.
What to your mind would it mean for the federation for you to be able to host it here?
What benefits would we have hosting it here?
Well, from your vision, from you have a conceptualized the whole thing with you guys.
Oh yeah,
but to be able to host it here,
right?
What mileage do you think the federation would gain from that?
Definitely, the GDP would have a significant boost. The technological GDP would have a significant boost in terms
recognition.
Oh yes, yes. First of all, that's because we are bringing. The intention is to bring 17 plus countries here to St. Kitts.
17 plus countries here to St. Kitts.
Yeah, of course, to St. Kitts and Nevis too.
So you'll be the movers and shakers.
Yep. Yep. So what we'll do is it's not just a competition for you to come and just compete and just go home at the end of it. The objective of the competition would be issues that we have within our Caribbean, with our shared Caribbean territories, right? So actual problems that we have here would be targeted specifically by our young individuals within a competition. But same thing, a healthy competition space.
And a workshop, maybe?
I mean, leading up to the competition point, you'll have the relevant workshop, the relevant guidance, the exposure, the assistance, whatever you need would be given. But at the date of the competition, 'cause it's going to be more like a week long or week plus long competition for young people to have strict focus on to showcase what they created, what they developed, what they programmed, what they tailored, what they made, what they designed, and also same thing. What I learned over the years of being a part of the association and being exposed to these type of things, healthy competition drives solutions. So that's the same.
I'm going to repeat you because your voice is dropping. Healthy competition drives solutions.
Healthy competition drives solutions, right? If you know, I want to do this, that because I want to be the best, right? But at the same time, you're learning as you go. And if you apply the information in such a way you're learning a real world problem, you could apply a real world solution to it, right? Because I could ask Hitter know what is food sustainability, even if he had no knowledge of it, because he was a part of the first global challenge about food sustainability, and I asked him about practices involved in preventing food sustainability, food shortages, and these type of things, because he was exposed to these things because of the competition. He had to learn, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So these are the same things that we want to apply within our own confined space.
Okay, we have a first call from the public. Good, they call 11 voices. We would have missed a call. Okay, so the lines are open for interaction with Mr. I don't know what to call you.
Mr. Powell, Mr. Executive, Mr. President.
Good, the caller, you're live on voices. Good, the caller, you're live on voices. We seem not to be connecting, but I hope we can make the connection. The lines remain open, 662-0989, 466-0989. This gets you in on the conversation.
In the meantime, I guess my personal views on SKNRE, I would always love to say this, is that I find SKNRE a safe space where I can explore my creative sides and come up with my own solution with the help of the association as well. My long-term goal is to just provide solutions for real-world problems.
Do you have a pet peeve?
Okay.
Within...
yeah, I want to.
So I actually do. I hate to see...
Go to caller, you live on voices. Go to caller, 11 voices. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead until we get that connection.
I hate to see any technological work that is poorly done. Right? Whereas I know for a fact whoever did it can do it better, but because they did it out of the interest of some sort of monetary value or anything like that, it's like they're not taking pride in their work that they're doing, right? So I know, so it sits heavy with me because I know for a fact the work can be done better. And
with the caller, you'll have one voices. Hello. Hello. We seem to be having some technical challenges, so my apologies, but please keep trying. We would like to be able to hear from you. You were saying, Mr. Powell.
Yes, our standards of of technical expertise is definitely we need some adjustments. Even
Need some adjustment.
Yeah, it needs to be held at a higher standard. And if it starts there, we could definitely fix the overall problem of solutions-driven.
Whose initiative was this initially?
Well, the St. Davis Robotics Association. So it was created and founded by Dr. Ricardo Neal. So he was the one who envisioned it.
I think I met him with you over the
yes,
that meeting with the ambassador.
The ambassador, Larry Vaughn.
Okay.
Yes. So he was the one that actually put this together in 2017.
Yeah.
But before that, I think we traveled not under the name SKNRA. We traveled to the first robotics challenge, and they were inspired. And then by the exposure and also what we're able to accomplish, because at the time I think that was in Dubai, and we were ranked third in the world.
Dubai ranked third in the world. This was when?
Yeah, 2019.
No, it wasn't 19.
Dubai was 2019.
Oh, it was 2019.
Yeah, Dubai was 2019.
Okay, so that's when the inspiration came, and then he said, you know what, we can do this. Let's do this. So he formed the association. He got it registered.
You have to take me back to ranking third in the world. You have to take me back to that.
Well, so like the first 3 competitions, we were doing extremely well because I guess like people were just like kind of starting for the first global aspects, because like the people who had competed in first, it's like the same, but it's a little different from like the first competition. So
let me let me take it back a bit,
please.
I guess
let's do that.
The very first time when we travel. Oh, there's another call.
Let's see, we have a call. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices. Hello there, caller. You're live on Voices. There's a connection issue, apparently. Yeah, but Mr. Pebble, let's not gloss over this thing. This thing is a big thing, right?
So
and you guys are here to celebrate, not to be like, okay, humble and all that.
Right. The impression
Big
that
up
we
yourselves.
got. The impression that we got when we first got there, when we built our robot. Compared to the others was these massive, big, complicated bots that could do all type of things. We were intimidated, right? Definitely intimidation, like we in a different competition or something. So there was nerves. It was nerve-wracking at first, and then Dr. Neil, being the composure he is, he said, guys, just focus on what you come to do. Focus on your matches. Focus on what your objective is. Don't pay attention to what's going on around you. Those are the bigger bots. Fine, they're big. That's it. We're small, and we're going to be more accurate. So after the first rounds of matches, St. Kitts and Nevis was ranked third in the world.
Third.
But we never
1, 2, 3.
Right, we never paid attention until the first global representative came around and announced your ranking to us and said, you guys are ranked third. Everybody looking around like
St. Kitts and Nevis. The same exact thing was in 2017, the first one.
Yeah, like St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Neil was like, see, as long as you guys stay composed and focus on what you're doing, great things can happen. So ever since that, we came back, we said, we have to take this serious. Let's register the association. St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association is now a fully legalized non-profit, non-government organization with all the necessary documentations to prove it.
And bragging rights. That to me, I think, was very impressive because, as you said, you went out there into an arena where there were countries seemingly more developed in terms of the technology.
Not seemingly.
You're looking at your size, your demographic, you come from, with what you're competing with, and the performance of the robots, and you were somewhat intimidated.
Yep, of course.
With the focus.
Yeah.
And the intellect that you brought.
It was able to be top 5, right? So we were blown away, man.
I actually want to put my input in this.
Please.
The last 2 years, 2-3 years, it's actually quite surprising that people actually know St. Kitts and Nevis, not actually from First Global, like meeting in First Global, but like I met these guys for the first time as I asked, do you do First Global? He said no. Like I'm actually surprised because of the first competition in 2017, the impact that we made, the recognition
from there.
Yeah, so that
was branding for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So that they actually know where it is, what it is.
It's still on the map.
Yeah, so I'm surprised. I never met even like these guys from who was volunteering. They weren't volunteering, but they were staff for the event who and in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So they know about First and First Global. So they actually, I asked, like, where you're from? I said where I'm from, and he said, oh, St. Kitts and Nevis. I know where that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Base.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can get this call on today. Go to caller, live on Voices. Go to caller, you're live on Voices.
I really want this call to come through, man.
yeah.
This
We are
seems
obviously
persistent.
We have a lot of calls, but they're not coming through. As you said,
Yeah, you can contact us on our social media. So, like, if for any reason that any other live events that we do, you can just follow us. What's our handle exactly? SKNRA?
Yeah, at
something?
SKNRA.kn.
SKNRA.kn on Instagram.
Jam says really try hard over there, but whatever the issue is that we're not connecting, we'd like to get you guys interactive with the public.
Yeah, but St. Kitts, the association also have an intention to introduce STEAM or robotics curriculum within the schools system here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a long outstanding conversation that we're having right now. And we're currently in the process of formalizing a partnership with a school that I would not name at this moment.
Right.
But until the partnership is signed off on,
Cemented.
we'll
Okay.
definitely be announcing who that school is and where you could probably find our curriculums being introduced into that school.
Well, for me, and I can speak on behalf of the management of WinFM, this is a platform that would be happy to offer you exposure to be able to reach out, because I said there are a lot of young persons who may just happen to hear something throughout the day and figure, this is something I can really put myself into, commit myself, and because so many distractions, so many challenges, and this to me, as you said, you're the person who remembered you from that episode in Dubai.
Yeah, we have.
How about St. Kitts and Nevis because of that?
Right, we have friends across the world. As a matter of fact, one of our members, Hannah Marie, have Japanese friends.
Yeah.
That she speaks.
She speaks Japanese fluently.
She speaks Japanese fluently.
She's from where?
She's from
St. Kitts. Yeah, but she joked about no, look, I'm like on my mother's side or something. I'm half Japanese, but that wasn't true. She was just joking around.
So she
speaks Japanese well.
Interesting.
Yep. So now she's connected with Japanese, the Japanese culture.
And Team Japan is like surprised. Oh wow, and they connect real well. So
So
it's always a pleasure to meet.
So
from
youth
guys in
exchange,
Japan.
that platform is so tremendous. I've seen way back in the day when you had we didn't have the
internet.
access to that internet, etc. And you wrote
letters.
Okay. It was such a beautiful thing,
It was more humane, I would say, because you also find a more relatable expression reading a letter within your hands,
Yeah, something more tangible.
It's more sentimental.
Right, it's cheapened, but it's what we have.
Yeah.
Click and back and forth.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So kind of on this, St. Kitts is actually we have a World Expo in Japan in 2025. That's for all the countries.
That's next year.
Yeah, that's next year. Right.
It's
So like First Global is kind of it's modeled after kind of like those, I believe, the World Expos, like where all the different countries have their different booths. So yeah, it's actually kind of interesting to see.
They're discussing the phone challenges.
Okay.
So in short, what Hitan is saying is that St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association will be representing St. Kitts and Nevis at the World Japan Expo next year.
2025.
Yeah.
So
I was just saying St.
second
Kitts in
quarter?
general, yeah.
So it would be a 6 months long expo, and we're gonna be there every single day of that expo.
6 months.
6 months long, and we intend to represent St. Kitts and Nevis.
One of your sponsors, you mentioned the bank, if they be part of that also.
So no, we actually is in partnership with Skipper for this one.
Okay.
So Skipper is the one that's actually partnering with us for us to develop some unique solutions, unique designs for us to bring St. Kitts and Nevis to Japan. So the intention, this is as much as I'll give you. The intention is to take St. Kitts and Nevis. So imagine taking St. Kitts and Nevis and just put it in Japan and everyone is able to experience what we have. That's exactly what we're
So
going to be doing.
it'll be a case where you're in St. Kitts in Japan.
You're going to be in Japan.
You hear made in St. Kitts.
Yes.
As opposed to made in Japan.
Yes. Yeah, made in St. Kitts in Japan. So the intention is to bring every single thing that we have to offer in Japan through a technical solutions. So these are not something that these are things we're gonna create from scratch. Right?
Okay, we got 4 minutes. And I'm gonna let you guys speak to anything at all, on the topic you want. You got 4 minutes, it's all yours.
You have something you want to mention?
No, you go first.
Okay.
It's fine.
I mean, I'm here in the capacity of St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association, so it's only fair for me to continue.
Yep.
So we are focused. We have been working tirelessly for long and hard, years upon years, as you can see, and the fruits of our labor are starting to definitely nourish. So we are in. I'm looking for that word. When a rolling stone is going down a hill and it's just momentum.
Yep.
We consistently keep building momentum, and more momentum. We're not gonna stop. The intention is to raise the technological bar for St. Kitts and Nevis, especially above average, and we have a lot of ideas, a lot of documented ideas. Let me just say ideas. A lot of documented ideas, thought out research papers. We have
copywritten.
Yes, copywritten documentations for us to do these things. Right. So as time progresses, all of our resources, most of our resources would be poured into these ideas, so you could see a better St. Kitts and Nevis through the Robotics Association from a technological aspect. Right, and of course, the young persons would be the one that would be responsible for tailoring these ideas and bringing them to life.
And you spoke about a registration process.
In terms of getting involved in the association, yes, you could find our registration on our social media or on our website. Facebook is normally the one people go to the most, but Instagram also has the links in the handles for registration. Induction ceremony is this year. December, we are gearing up. My assistant director, May Alexander, is actually...
That's 8 weeks from now? 2 months from now?
About 8 weeks from now. My assistant director, May Alexander, is actually planning the induction ceremony for this year for the new members to come, where they would be recognized, highlighted, and then publicized, of course, to our social media platform and also be registered in our database.
Exposures are very important.
Yeah.
Because the guys did SKN a huge favor representing us up there in Greece. But you've been back and I'm not hearing anything at all. There's no buzz.
Well, we heard most of the uproar on social media as opposed to in person.
As no big reception, guys went back home.
No.
Thanks for doing us proud.
No.
How can we assist you?
No. One of the things that we said that we always wanted to plan was more of a press conference between our members. So we want to have an open press conference where we invite media houses for us as the directors of the association to be on a platform where persons could come in and ask whatever questions.
Win FM would be happy to be part of that. Seriously. We have of course, we have a very wide listenership, but to be part of that would be so great. You got 1 minute, sir?
I think I don't really have anything to... I don't know. Besides that, the fact that what you were saying that we did St. Kitts and Nevis a huge favor. We're really passionate about this, so that's why we are able to represent St. Kitts and Nevis this way. So yeah, we're really passionate.
Not for a pat on the back, but at least a little acknowledgement. Hey guys, thank you so very much.
Right.
Yeah, I was saying, we're very passionate in STEAM and stuff that
Me personally, I was saved by being a part of the association, because I don't know where I probably would have been doing right now, just so being a part of
that is why you're here to also inspire other young people like you who are wondering what to do to get involved in. Are we ready? Okay, we now have to pause for the WinFM midday presentations. So I want to thank you guys for being here. We have to talk some more.
It's a pleasure.
And don't be strangers. Let's talk. Be back here as often as possible.
See you next time. It's very nice.
Much appreciated. Downtown, upstairs for the presentation of the WinFM midday news broadcast.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, National Bank, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Now loans, cash at the speed of light, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, right now, right now. Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming.
When life throws surprises your way, Now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip. With Now, you get cash in a flash, approved in just 24 hours.
Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of light, right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the Win FM headline news, I am Yulana Weeks. Locally,
fireman found guilty of gun and ammunition possession. Jury finds Walter Bass guilty of sexual assault.
The details and more straight ahead.
The jury on October 22, 2024 found Walter Bass guilty of sexual assault. The High Court matter, Director of Public Prosecution versus Walter Bass, was presided over by His Lordship Justice Ian Morley KC. The trial began on Monday, October 14, 2024. The matter was subject to 2 counts of indecent assault, which occurred on May 24, 2019 and May 27, 2019. The trial came to an end on October 22, 2024, with the jury returning a verdict of not guilty on count 1 and a guilty verdict on count 2 on the indictment. Following the guilty verdict, Barce's bail was revoked and he was whisked away from the courtroom to His Majesty's prison pending a sentencing hearing on December 3, 2024. The woman who accused the soldier of sexual assault detailed her experience in the St. Kitts High Court. Crown Counsel's Miss Althea Campbell and Mr. John Coombs appeared for the Crown, whilst Defense Counsel Mr. Jason Hamilton appeared for the accused. Dwayne Fireman Freeman of Gingerland Nevis pleaded not guilty, but was found guilty in a St. Kitts Magistrate Court in a matter presided over by Her Honor Miss Yasmin Clark on October 22, 2024. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison for firearm possession and 5 years for possession of ammunition. The sentences will run concurrently. On August 18, 2024, Dwayne Fireman Freeman was charged with the offenses of possession of a firearm and possession of ammunition committed at East Street in Newtown. A warrant was executed upon an East Street residence and there found 1 Smith & Wesson pistol and 6 rounds of ammunition. A team of detectives from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force Criminal Investigation Department investigated the matter and was successful. The key witnesses were Detective Marlon Raymond, lead investigator, Sergeant Andrea Batiste, Inspector Carl Griot, and Assistant Commissioner of Police James Francis. The lead prosecutor in the case was Inspector Philip Eddy.
The Latin America and Caribbean region is expected to experience slower than expected growth in 2024, according to the International Monetary Fund, while the global economy shows robust improvement, supported by declining inflation. Challenges remain in certain regions. The World Economic Outlook, released on Tuesday, offers critical insights into the state of national economies and the global economic landscape. On Tuesday morning, Pierre-Olivier Gorenchas, director of the IMF's research department, provided an overview of the global economy, confirming that inflation is on the decline.
The good news, the battle against inflation is almost won. After peaking at 9.4% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2022, we now project headline inflation will fall to 3.5% by the end of next year. In most countries, inflation is now hovering close to central bank targets.
Inflation has affected economies across the globe, including residents in the Federation, driven by several factors, such as the COVID-19 pandemic and supply chain bottlenecks. During his press conference, Gorenchas highlighted economic growth in developed nations, including the United States and China. However, he warned of potential risks to global economic stability.
Now, the decline in inflation without a global recession is a major achievement. Much of that disinflation can be attributed to the unwinding of the unique combination of supply and demand shocks that caused the inflation in the first place, together with improvements in labor supply due to immigration in many advanced countries. But monetary policy played a decisive role, keeping inflation expectations anchored. Now, despite the good news on inflation, risks are now tilted to the downside. These downside risks include an escalation in regional conflicts, especially in the Middle East, which could pose serious risks for commodity markets. Policy shifts toward undesirable trade and industrial policies could also significantly lower output. A sharp reduction in migration into advanced economies, which can unwind some of the supply gains that helped ease inflation in recent quarters. This could trigger an abrupt tightening of global financial conditions that would further depress output. And together, these represent about 1.6% of global output in 2026.
With ongoing conflicts in the Middle East and Europe threatening economic growth and financial stability, Gorenchas urged global leaders to take measures to mitigate these risks.
Now, to mitigate these downside risks and to strengthen growth, policymakers now need to shift gears and implement a policy triple pivot. The first pivot on monetary policy is already underway. The decline in inflation paved the way for monetary easing across major central banks. This will support activity at a time when labor markets are showing signs of cooling with rising unemployment rates. So far, however, this rise has been gradual and does not point to an imminent slowdown. Lower interest rates in major economies will also ease the pressure on emerging market economies. However, vigilance remains key. The second pivot is on fiscal policy. It is urgent to stabilize debt dynamics and rebuild much-needed fiscal buffers. For the United States and China, current fiscal plans do not stabilize debt dynamics. For other countries, despite early improvements, there are increasing signs of slippage. The third pivot, and the hardest, is toward growth-enhancing reform. This is the only way we can address many of the challenges we face. Many countries are implementing industrial and trade policy measures to protect domestic workers and industries. These measures can sometimes boost investment and activity in the short run, but they often lead to retaliation and ultimately fail to deliver sustained improvements in standards of living.
He recommended 3 key strategies to address the challenges posed by these conflicts. Monetary policy, the first shift is already underway. Fiscal policy, governments must adjust fiscal measures to meet current challenges. And growth enhancement reforms. This is the most difficult pivot, requiring structural changes. Goran Charles emphasized that economic growth must come from, quote, ambitious domestic reforms that boost innovation, increase human capital, improve competition, and enhance resource allocation, end quote.
Regionally, the government of Guyana, through the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlal, has turned to the U.S. Department of Justice for legal assistance in its bid to have U.S.-based Guyanese political and human rights activist Rickford Burke arrested and prosecuted for allegedly inciting ethnic strife and criminal violence in Guyana. In a letter to the U.S. Attorney General, Merrick Garland, on July 27, 2024, Attorney General Nandlal accused Burke of launching almost daily attacks against the government and the citizens of Guyana using his Facebook page. According to Minister Nandlal, the attacks are clearly intended to excite racial hostilities among the different races and classes of the citizenry. He said while Guyana's constitution guarantees freedom of expression, it guards against hate speech and other expressions that are capable of exciting hostility or ill will against a person or class of persons. He said Burke's actions are in breach of the Guyana Constitution and amount to a number of criminal offenses in Guyana, adding that they have also caused immeasurable damage to the character and reputation of government officials, public officers, and regular citizens.
Former policyholders of British American insurance company BICO were among those who suffered a legal blow. The Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, has dismissed a high-profile case against the government of Trinidad and Tobago. The claimants are former policyholders of BICO, a subsidiary of CL Financial, the financial conglomerate in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Trinidad and Tobago had engaged in a series of measures following the collapse of BICO in 2009, including assumption of control of CLICO and BICO Trinidad, provision of liquidity support, and injection of funds. The claimants argued that this breached the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas because the Trinidad government failed to include them in a settlement offered to other CARICOM policyholders. The court concluded that on the facts, Trinidad and Tobago's intervention in and bailout of CL Financial and its Trinidadian subsidiaries were properly within the exception provided in Article 332, that is, activities in a member state involving the exercise of governmental authority. Now, this meant that the claims alleging breaches of Articles 36, 37, and 38 were not justiciable by the court. The claim was therefore dismissed. The parties were ordered to bear their own costs. A legal blow for the former policyholders, the CCJ dismissing that case against Trinidad and Tobago.
Internationally,
we start in the US, where Donald Trump's presidential campaign has made a legal complaint against the Labour Party here for what it claims is illegal foreign contributions and interference in the US election. A statement from the Trump-Vance campaign says the far-left Labour Party has inspired Kamala's dangerous liberal policies and rhetoric. In recent weeks, they've recruited and sent party members to campaign for Kamala in critical battleground states, attempting to influence our election. A now-deleted social media post from a senior Labour official said that there were 10 spots available to travel to the US and that the party would sort housing for volunteers. But Labour officials say activists who have been campaigning for Kamala Harris are doing so in their personal capacity and are not organised or funded by the party. For some context, a foreign national can participate in campaign activities as long as they're not being paid for it. That's according to the Federal Election Commission. This is not the first time that either Labour or Conservative Party staff have campaigned in the US election. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes reports.
Donald J. Trump.
US election interference by the Labour Party. The claim being made by Donald Trump's campaign that Britain's ruling party and Kamala Harris's campaign have broken the law. In a 6-page letter to America's election watchdog, the Federal Election Commission, a lawyer for the Trump campaign cites media reports about contact between Labour and the Harris campaign and requests an immediate investigation into blatant foreign interference with apparent illegal foreign national contributions made by the Labour Party. The row revolves around efforts by Labour to send volunteers to the states to help Kamala Harris. The letter cites this now deleted post on the networking site LinkedIn, apparently from a senior Labour official saying 10 spots were available to travel to the US and that the party would sort housing for volunteers. The Trump campaign says that suggests Labour is financially supporting volunteers. It's not illegal for foreign nationals to campaign in US elections, but they can't be paid for it. In a statement, the Trump campaign said Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz were seeking foreign influence to boost what it called their radical message. The Harris campaign's acceptance and use of this illegal foreign assistance is just another feeble attempt in a long line of anti-American election interference. Donald Trump's former ambassador to Germany, Richard Grenell, who's tipped to be part of the former president's new administration if he wins the election, told Newsnight it was a slippery slope for Labour.
I think is a really dangerous precedent to have the ruling party of a ally somehow playing politics, getting involved in the actual campaigning with such a short notice. I mean, it's the last month of our campaign.
Sir Keir Starmer has played down the significance of the Trump campaign's allegations, pointing out that Labour had volunteers who'd gone to America pretty much every election, doing it in their spare time and staying with other volunteers. The Prime Minister added that he and Donald Trump had established a good relationship when they met in New York last month. Peter Bowes, BBC News.
Coming in from near the Turkish capital Ankara, there has been a large explosion outside the headquarters of Turkey's main aerospace company, Turkish Aerospace Industries. Now, images of what appears to be one of the assailants have already been released. There are initial reports of dead and wounded, and at least one government minister has described the blast as a, quote, terror attack. Local media are also reporting that gunshots were heard at the facility, which is about 40 kilometers from the capital, Ankara. All right, I'm going to cross now to our correspondent, Julia Hahn. She's in Istanbul. She's following this story for us. So, Julia, we know some details, but they're slim. What more can you tell us at this point?
Well, Brent, that senior official you just mentioned is the Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya. He said, and I quote him here, a terrorist attack was carried out against the Turkish aviation company TUSAŞ. That's a company located on the outskirts of the Turkish capital, Ankara, in an industrial area. He said they were dead and wounded, but without providing further details or any numbers. Now, Ankara, as you know, is the Turkish capital. It's home to 5 million inhabitants. It's also where the parliament, where the presidential complex are located. President Erdogan himself is not in the country at the moment. He is in the Russian city of Kazan attending this year's BRICS summit, so we haven't heard anything from him yet. Turkish media are reporting that heavy gunfire and explosions were heard outside this aviation company's headquarters and that emergency services were dispatched to the site. They were also speculating about a possible suicide attack. Turkish TV channels right now are also showing images of several gunmen who tried to storm the premises of the company. And there are some reports, unconfirmed though, that hostages were taken. The situation is still very much developing.
Yeah, we want to let our viewers know we're looking at live pictures there. That looks like the entrance to the facility where this, what one official has called a terror attack, may have taken place. Julia, do we have any idea what or who could be behind this? I mean, do we know of any force, any group that would have a score to settle, for example, against this aerospace company?
Well, it's probably still much too early to say. Turkey has been struggling for many years with various groups, militant groups, terrorist groups, from the so-called Islamic State or ISIS to Kurdish militants of the PKK. There have been a number of terrorist attacks here in the country in recent years. The last attack in Ankara, I just looked it up, was a year ago in October when gunmen carried out a bomb attack against an interior ministry building. Now, that attack was blamed by Ankara on Kurdish militants. The PKK, in specific, the PKK is a group that is considered as a terrorist organization, not only by Ankara, but also by the European Union and the US. It has waged a decades-long bloody insurgency against the Turkish state. And now some commentators are saying today's attack actually comes a day after a very close ally of President Erdogan, the leader of the ultra-nationalist MHP here in Turkey. His name is Devlet Bahçeli. After he said, very surprisingly, suggested that the long-imprisoned leader of the PKK, Abdullah Öcalan, could be released from jail if he announces the dissolution, the end of the PKK. Those comments have caused a lot of outrage here in the country for many different reasons. There might be a connection, but as I said, it's probably still too early as the situation is still developing and more information is hopefully coming in.
All right, yeah, a lot of speculation, story still developing. Julia Hahn there in Istanbul with this breaking news story, a large explosion outside the Turkish aerospace industries outside of Ankara. Julia, thank you.
That was the WinFM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, National Bank, and Caribbean.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Ottley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. If you need cash in a flash with now, no need to fuss, leave it to us. When you need cash in a flash, no need to fuss, leave it to us. Hear me now. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now. Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming.
When life throws surprises your way, now's here to help. Whether it's for an urgent bill payment, home improvements, or unexpected health expenses, or even that last-minute holiday trip. With Now, you get cash in a flash, approved in just 24 hours.
Approved in a day, yeah, yeah. Some money on the way, yeah, yeah. Approved in a day, oh, yeah, you know it's coming. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, so fast you won't believe it. Now loans, cash at the speed of life, right now, right now.
A loan product powered by National Bank.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly. We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Double the cash back. Double the groceries. Double the savings. Only at Hortford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Happening now, when you make a higher purchase, you'll get double cash back coupons for double the free groceries. Are you serious? Shop for the furniture and appliances you need, and we'll help you fill your fridge and kitchen too.
Nah, me.
But that's not all. You'll also have a chance to win free groceries for a year or 4-piece living room set that will transform your space into a cozy haven.
Say what?
Don't miss out on double the rewards and double the savings. Visit Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances or Ashley Furniture Home Store today and start your journey to a better home and a fuller kitchen.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit any Hortsford's location for details.
Double the deals, double the delight, double the cash back, double the groceries, double the savings. Only at Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Stores, happening now.
Looking for the perfect bed? It's the time for Beds Rest Easy. Dream big, save bigger sales event at Hostel's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Get 25% off cash prices on all beds, bedroom sets, whether you're upgrading or starting fresh. We've got your dream bedroom set waiting just for you. Plus, enjoy double cash back on all higher purchase items. Don't miss your chance to rest easy, dream big, and save bigger. Hurry to Hosford's today. The time for Beds Rest Easy, Dream Big, Save Bigger sales event is on now, but only for a limited time. Hosford's, where quality meets comfort.
Okay. Welcome back to today's presentation. The second half of today's presentation of voices. Got me a bit off guard there, Mr. Jamster. So yes, we had with us this morning the president of the executive director of the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Association. They had quite a lot to say, a lot to share. They would have made representation of the Federation in Greece a couple of weeks ago, so I was happy to have them on. This came after a conversation I had with Mr. Powell a few days ago. We were talking about the perception about young people in general, how they're this, they're that, they're bad, and they're in gangs. And, you have this young group of persons who are doing so well in terms of the academics, and not only that, but forming a group, a robotics association that has been making waves not only across the region, but on global platforms. So I was happy to entertain him, and we try to keep track of their development in the foreseeable future. I was also alluding earlier to an issue that was brought to my attention by a colleague of mine about his daughter while attending school being bullied and what they were doing to address it. We seem to have a phone call now. Let's see if we're lucky with this call. Okay. So he didn't want to come on the radio, as he said he would, but he thought there was some arbitration being worked out between the school and the parents. But I knew it was bothering him because from time to time he would bring it up. Over the last 2 days, I saw a clip posted on social media, so I would have license to play it. And I would like very much if we can take some calls for the public to weigh in on their take on this presentation. As soon as Jamster is ready, we want to play that for you and get you insight. So, Jamster, ready? Let's hit it.
The video is very, 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 very disturbing. And it kind of hit home for me because my daughter has been dealing with some issues. The thing about it is that I don't toughen up my daughter and I don't tell my daughter, bro, let me in and then come out the school and come home to me. Let me go down the school or let me go wherever. Enough is enough. Bullying in schools, primary schools, high schools. Now I sent a video by the child's parent, and I was told that this took place in St. Paul's Primary School on Friday, Thursday or Friday. What is disturbing about it is that the video recorded the whole thing. The children video recorded the whole thing. And I'm going to post the video here. It is very disturbing. The mother called me today. She was crying. She broke down everything. She was distraught because she says when she going home Friday night on a bus, boom, somebody sent her this video only to see is she daughter. She primary school daughter. Then she told me she went to the school today and the head teacher is telling her. She tell the head teacher that she is going to the ministry and the teacher is telling her, please don't go ministry, please don't go ministry. Now what is even disturbing about this thing, it's not the first time the child has been bullied. But they took it a step further and they recorded it. Like what I see in those other countries, well, they took it a step further and they recorded it. I'm coming for the parents. Y'all know you got your children them home and I know who are your children them be. But a lot of you like to parade our children like they're angels when I know them are some stinking devils. Talk to all your children. Where things start, it don't end there. And if your child believe you bad, somebody else got somebody worse than them. Somebody else have somebody else worse than them. I have reached a point right now where I'm telling my child, hit back and hit them back harder. And then come home to me. I see that child give that child a kick in she belly today. And that they hurt me. It hurt me and I'm angry. And then the head teacher, oh, please don't go ministry. It has been happening in your school for some time. They gang up on the child, they corner the child. And the boy there with the camera. He's there with the camera. Yes, it happened right here in St. Kitts, St. Paul's Primary. The mother sent the video to me. I encouraged the mother to go to the ministry today. I did. I even told her who to ask for. I told her, go straight to this person. Don't tell them you don't want to talk to nobody else. Go straight to this person. They're going to have a meeting tomorrow at the school. But what is disturbing? Instead of the head teacher calling in all the parents there today, in front of the mother, she tell the mother, go ahead, and she went one by one, go call the parents. No. That is not how you handle stuff. Everybody come. That couldn't have been my child because I would have transformed into a mother bear. And I would have tear up the whole school. I would have. Tell all your children, keep their hand to themselves. And the ministry, the schools have to do better because the schools, a lot of the schools, them no bullying the gun, and they don't investigate properly. They don't investigate properly. And when they don't do whatever, they don't gang up together. When they don't bang up, when they don't bully the person, they gang up together and they get their lies them together and everything. And then the child look like she's the one, the troublemaker, when it's them who did it. But it's a good thing they made the video today. The video was for them to put out for people to see how bad they be, but it turned on against them. And they call them one by one and they couldn't get to plot together their lies. But I'm very sorry, Miss Sarina. All our we be children today. Me that be a child today in this school and I'd bang them up. I'd bang them up. Parents want all your children. I don't know who all your children be. All you know. But I know nobody know you got a dirty foot, so you pretend like I know got a dirty foot. Every family got in a stinking toe. But is your stinking toe? I am so disturbed and I'm going to post the video. I am going to post the video. I got permission to post the video. The poor little child trying to fight back for herself. This is a big thing. Why you want somebody kill somebody child? Sorry, can't bring back a child now. And the schools got to do better. Some of the schools say they got zero tolerance, and them at the school full of bullies like that. Full of bullies. I am highly annoyed and upset. It hit home for me. It hit home for me.
Okay, I want to thank you for that, Jamster. And I really introduced that because I think it's a point of discussion that needs to be had from time to time. It's an ongoing issue locally, regionally, internationally, and we see patterns of what we sort of shadow, things we see on the various media platforms. And it's nothing new to St. Kitts in terms of this whole aspect of bullying and the various reactions from the adults, the parents, or the persons involved, especially when their children are the victims in this whole interplay. There are two takeaways from this as far as I'm concerned. And I'm hoping that the lines are working because I really would like the input from the public to weigh in and give their take on this whole thing, because you have the reaction from a parent, an adult, who would have seen by the presentation of the video one child being attacked, bullied, etc. And rather than the folks around getting involved to protect the child from injury, part in the fight as we would call it, the most folks stand around and they record it to the point that this mother who's empathizing with what she sees because she's a mother and seen a child being bullied, etc. And what her reaction would have been. She's saying, had it been my child, what I would have done. There are those on the other side of the coin who would say, well, that's not, she's not acting as a responsible mother. But she's actually quoting the history of the same thing. It's not the first time she said. And when you go to the schools, the teachers are trying to keep it as quiet as possible. Against the threat of going to the ministry, the teacher saying, well, don't go there, we'll talk to the child. But the lady saying, well, this has happened before. And you shouldn't have to wait until a child gets killed or seriously injured to intervene. So how do we deal with this? 662-0989, 466-0989. If you can get in on the conversation, I would love to hear from you as a parent, as a teacher, if possible, as anyone in society who would have their opinion as to how this should or could be treated. You know? Let's see if we have a call online. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good day, Socrates.
Good
Greetings
afternoon to you.
again.
Yes.
Yes, man. Greetings once more again in Jesus' name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. As he saved his elect, his chosen sinners from the sins and from hell. Now,
amen.
What I'm calling to say, amen and amen in Jesus' name. Yes. What I'm calling to say, I've said this before more than once on Win FM, and I think maybe on other platforms as well. Years now I've said this more than once. Number one, again, as a Christian, I go back to the Bible that is the only source of all the answers that we need for life, for all of life. Where the Bible is concerned, government getting involved in education, just like health and that sort of stuff.
Jeffrey.
Forbidden.
Anyway, go ahead. That's it, Gregory. Go ahead.
It's forbidden. So what start wrong, unless you don't change it, it's going to end wrong. And so government getting involved in education and those sort of stuff, which goes against the Bible, must end wrong if you don't change to what the Bible says. And that is the source of our problems today in society, including with this bullying issue. You saying the first time I'm saying this on Win FM. The bullying issue is a very serious thing, especially in the government schools. I'm not saying you don't have it in private schools, but it is nowhere near the problem as it is in government schools the world over, including here in St. Nevis. as well. As a matter of fact, I remember, I think a few years back, a girl killed herself because of the bullying issue.
Yep, son record.
Yeah. Yes.
But my question is, the interaction I really want. I understand your position, right? In terms of the lady who put out the video, her reaction, her take on this, what's your take on that? Is she right? Is she wrong? What position you think she would take as an adult?
Well, with all due respect, I feel that she's very much on point, and if people gang up on you, nothing is wrong in you resorting to self-defense. And if she tells her child that if she's being ganged up on to defend herself, nothing is wrong with that. You know? But what I'm saying, the source of the problem is our disobedience to the word of God.
We
Not
agree.
doing things according to the
I
Bible.
attended, for some time in my life, private schools. It wasn't governments, but the education policy was the same, but I did attend private school. And there were similar behavioral patterns in school. But back then, you would engage the parent, they would come to school, engage the authorities and have that discussion. It was not as prevalent as now, but it happened in private settings also.
Mark, remember I said it is in private school as well, but not to the degree as in public government schools.
Because you have a bigger population, you have a much bigger population in these government institutions, schools.
Yeah, but not all that, but the private school will quicker suspend you as well. Because remember, people are paying for the kids to go on loan in the private school. I mean, they're doing it for the public school too, but it is indirect. But people are paying directly to the private school, so they have a greater market incentive to weed out the bad apples.
So you're saying wherever there's a government school,
it's there, yes.
Where you're saying where there are government schools, automatically bullying would be part of the equation?
Well, all sorts of, if it ain't bullying, it's something else, but all sorts of evils are more prevalent in the government schools than in the private schools. I mean, I said it again, I'm not saying the private schools are perfect. They have the evils too. But it's more prevalent in the government schools. For example, you used to hear, for example, in America, children carrying guns. Okay?
Used to?
No, and it still happen. But for what I have read, there are those children who carry guns to protect themselves. But you ain't going to hear that on the news. All you hear in the news is that children carrying guns. You know? The government, and it was in relation to government schools, not private schools in America. So it's like I keep on telling you, Socrates, people going to hear it, but when we do not do things the Bible way, we're going to end up in all kind of mess. And not only that, also as well, when you're forcing children to go to school, which also, when government forcing children to go to school.
What do you mean forcing? What does that look like? You're forcing children to go to school?
No, forcing in the sense that if the children ain't go to school, you could prosecute the parents. You come, you take up the children, maybe send them Harris homes or wherever, that sort of stuff. Because according to your law.
But there has to be special circumstance for that, Gregory.
Hello? Repeat?
There has to be special circumstances for that. They don't just pick up any child and force them or put them in the correctional institutions. There has to be incident of intervention in the best interest of the child.
No, that doesn't have to be. That's what the socialists themselves and communists says. Because they believe government.
Don't give me labels. Labels are not going to work with this conversation, right? You have incidents where you have kids who are labeled delinquent or whatever, they're problematic, and you take the proper measures with discussion with the parents and figure, okay, if you can't control your child at home, they're problematic in classrooms, we'll put them in an environment where they can get the education and the proper discipline. You're trying to reach out to that child. It's an intervention. So it's not forcing. You're trying to address a problem.
But anything that goes against the Bible is improper and wrong and counterproductive. And that you see, all the government interventions we have in society getting better? No. Society getting worse and worse. All of these.
We have to blame the Bible for that, Jeffrey.
Hello?
We have to blame the Bible for that.
No.
You have to blame the Bible for that.
Repeat?
You have to blame the Bible for that.
When we are doing things contrary to the Bible,
the Bible predicted that in the last days this thing will escalate. So,
what?
The Bible predicted that in the last days these things will increase. So we have to accept it and figure, well, it's preordained.
Happened 2,000 years ago.
We have to say it's preordained. If you have to follow your premise, it's preordained, so it's going to happen.
No. The last days happened 2,000 years ago at the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple. We are living post-last days.
We live in post-last days?
Yeah, we are living post-last days.
I don't understand that.
And as a matter of fact, the Bible also predicts that in these post-last days, which is, what I call a post-millenniumist, in these post-last days, the Bible predicts there's going to come a time when things are going to get better and better as men more and more turn towards the Bible. But what you're seeing me doing is just a part at the beginning of such.
There's a certain pastor who has promised that the first chance he gets is he'll come on the radio and have discussions, because I really can't hear some days, but he's busy. I would like to get a pastor in to address some of these positions you have taken. I understand you're steadfast in your faith, what you believe. But in the case of the bullying of the child, I don't see that this is because the government wants the school, so bullying has to follow as a result. I don't see that.
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that when government mandates schooling, okay, for children, when they do it, which is unbiblical and contrary to the Bible, but when they mandate it, okay,
should they not?
You create gangs, you create bullying, because no, you ain't going to be suspending them as they ought to be.
So government mandating schooling leads to formation of gangs?
Formation of gangs, because, and bullying, because, formation of gangs, because why? A lot of bad children who are supposed to be out of school and away from the school atmosphere, because there's a disruption to this learning atmosphere in the school. They're in the school atmosphere now, recruiting other children to be part of gangs.
Is it possible to go to Sunday school? Is it possible to go to Sunday school and end up in a gang?
Is it possible to go to Sunday school and end up in a gang?
Yeah.
Depends on the Sunday school. It all depends. Because if it is a Sunday school that weeds out, the bad apples, then no, it's not possible. But if it is a Sunday school that allows any and everything, then in that context it is possible.
Okay, Gregory. I want to thank you for your contribution. We're going to keep the lines open, see if we have anyone who want to contribute, and we're in the same topic of bullying and the presentation that the lady would have put up there. So thanks for that. Okay?
Okay.
Unique perspective when it comes to Gregory. We have to respect his view on things. But I think the issue with bullying, our social scientists have taken various approaches, etc., counseling, etc., etc. You have to have these discussions, these conversations. Because sometimes the environment that the child leaves at home to go to school is not conducive for a disciplined child. They may see certain things happening at home in terms of the interactions of the parents or whomever or in the neighborhood, and they take that to the school ground. It may be something they see on the media platforms that they take to the school ground, right? So the counseling is important, but you can't just shrug it off and say, well, maybe it's because the government is in charge of education, this will automatically follow. I attended private schools. I saw it there. You will always find people with the intent that they're bigger, they're better, and they're actually cowards. And they pick on the perceived weaker ones. And there are many times that parents would have to go to the school grounds to get in contact with the kids directly. Protocol says go to the teachers, the principals before, but there are times when parents have done that. Another case years ago where a gentleman took his gun to the school grounds, you know. And of course, that caused him to serve time in prison. Let's take this call. Go to caller 11 Voices.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
I'm pleased to you. I'm calling in relation to the bullying situation.
Much appreciated.
Now, some persons will see bullying. Some they're just playing. But from the time someone says stop, that means you no longer have the right to touch me.
Right.
Because I talk to a lot of group of persons, children and even adults, to let them know, according to the slightest touch, without my permission, you're beating me. And bullying is something like that. Some persons do not want to hear when you say stop, do not touch me. And then you get a group of persons, and they seem as if they have it fun, not realizing
at your expense.
And in my thought, I could put it this way: some of them know they're hurting the other person because that's the intention. And because they start in primary school, if we cannot stop them there, what we are having now with the violence, with adolescents and young adults and so forth, that's what will happen. It will continue.
Correct.
And that's the dangerous thing about the bullying. I have on occasion go to school to talk to person because, you know, I teach some young people different things. And they come to me and they report. And this is where sometimes some adults and some persons responsible for children don't go wrong. A child will come to them and tell them, these persons are bullying me or interfering with me. Or they're just playing and they don't take it. The child come back again and say it again. And they still do not take it serious. The child will go to another teacher. Because I have experience with this. This is why I'm talking like this. I'm not going to call the school. And the child end up on going to the principal. Nothing happened. The child respond now and hit the other child and they call the child a violent child. It's a good thing I was dealing with the child, so not the child. I mean, you know I'm into the martial arts. I'm into martial arts.
Yes.
I'm into the martial arts. And the parent came to me and told me, I said no. And I said, okay, give me permission to go to the school to talk to the teacher. And I went and I talked to the principal and tell him, look, I am here for a student of mine. Because in the taekwondo, we tell them, your task is not to fight, but you have a right to defend yourself. And also coming from a policing background, you do not go and make fight, but you have a constitutional right and a God-given right to protect your own life. Isn't that so?
That is correct.
And I want everyone in our nation to understand that, because some person believe they are the only one have a right to do any and everything, but you do not have a right to impede upon my life. And I went and I tell the principal, this person could have hit the person first instant, but we taught them. If someone hits you, you don't have to respond. You don't even have to use your skills to do anything. You go and you make a complaint. Because if you react, the first thing they're going to say, and just that's what they did, because you do martial arts, you should have more control and more discipline. But the person was reporting all the time. And this is what we have to get to understand. Because it even happens sometimes with the police. Somebody go and make complain, and they just, based on who they're complaining to, they take it a lackadaisical attitude towards it until something happens.
And
perhaps,
perhaps that's why this lady said that she told her child, her daughter, brought them in, hit them hard, because, you know, she didn't say hit them first, but once they hit you, brought them in, etc., and let them come home and deal with me. Because this comes from a point of frustration. My daughter keep complaining, she been bullied, she been hit, nobody's taking the right precautions, went to the teachers, blah, blah, blah. You keep coming home, brought them in, and let them come and deal with me. How do you treat that?
Yep. Well, I'm going to finish my thing and I'm going to tell you what happened. So I went and I told the principal the same thing. And I said, this student, because of the techniques we use and we teach them, yes, it's for sport, it's for whatever, but it's also for self-defense. We break board, and if I could break a board, that means I could do different things to other people, right? And therefore, you have to take these things serious. It's not that the person was a coward, but it's just that the person was following instructions to avoid confrontation at all costs. But if your life is up against the wall, you have to protect yourself, or else you could get seriously injured or even lose your life. It's seems as if some persons do not recognize or realize that until it happens to them or someone to them. For me, I do not like violence, and that is why when I hear these kind of things, it kind of touches something because violence beget violence. That's what the Bible says.
Well, here's where you as a counselor comes in.
The situation with the mother, I would say, okay, I'm not saying, I would prefer the words, defend yourself, one strike, go and report, and in the process of doing so, you always make a loud noise. Stop, do not touch me, leave me alone. Let other people hear you saying more than once, more than twice, even more than 3 times, stop. So when you have to react, everybody will say, I heard this little girl and this little boy said at least 1,000 times, do not touch me, behave. He didn't say 1,000 times, but the message you get into, he said it a number of times to stop. But you have to defend yourself. You have to protect yourself and walk away if you can. If there's an open field, don't just stop there and say you're going to defend yourself. You walk away and try to go to the teacher, especially when it happens in school.
And that is often seen as cowardice. When you walk away, it's all sometimes seen as cowardice and encourages their aggressor to continue with that. Yeah.
In the martial arts, this is the philosophy. It takes a weak person to get into a fight or confrontation, but it takes a strong person to avoid it. Because the reason why the philosophy is that way, it is natural for you to respond to something that is not right to you.
React.
But when you could control that natural thing, you have to be strong to control it. And that is why even when you take the Bible principle, if someone hits you on the one cheek, turn the next. It doesn't mean actually turn the other one. It means they come to you violently, show them peace. It will kill or reduce the situation. And that is what we have to teach all the time. To avoid the confrontation even before it starts. This is one of our teaching we give in our martial arts in our taekwondo school. You should be able to be good enough to see violence when it comes and avoid it. Whether it's adults or children, we teach this principle. Avoid violence at all costs. Because, as we normally say, how things start, it doesn't end that way.
That is correct.
And that is what we're trying to avoid. How the bullying starts doesn't end that way. And I sure we come across a lot of situations where a person bullying someone, and the person out of anger push that person. The person fall and hit the head and get injured. Some of them even die. And what happened? Nothing for it. Because there's something that's called provocation. Provocation is temporary loss of sanity. Because I just went angry, leave me alone.
Yep.
That might be one way, but the other way could be the person who is being bullied could take it serious and realize and believe to themselves, I have no way out. Because not even my teachers are taking me on. Not even the police are taking me on. And they do the thing that is...
the teachers may not be equipped to deal with these situations.
They will commit suicide, and that is what we do not want. And that is why I'm calling on our institution that deals with these kind of things, and even our adults who walk in on the street who are under my voice right now. Let us, when we see confrontation or someone bullying some other child, because it used to happen before. When I was young, I'm sure when you were young, it used to happen as well.
Of course.
Adults who get and stop children from monkeying around. Cut that out. So what I would say is the adults have to reflect. Would they like that for themselves? They have to reflect. Am I in charge of the school? Because believe it or not, and we say it all the time, when a child leaves home to go to school, the school is 100% in charge of them. And even some of the public school, I know my good friend before me was talking about private school and public school, the differences. But even public school have security now, so therefore the parents cannot walk onto the school as they like.
As before.
That means they're responsible for my child. And when my child is there, I believe, and I know they should be protecting my child. Outside the bound of that, then I have legal means to go to get. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I want to thank you for that, and would encourage you to give whatever counseling you can to help to alleviate these situations.
So my final vote before I go, Mr. Moderator, King Socrates, is for all of us, do unto others as you would like others to unto you.
And do a part.
Right.
Thank you so very much for that.
Remember, violence begins violence, and it's always best to do good and show peace and love to our fellow men. And that is the way, and we have to change our mind. By changing our mind to things like these, will prevent all these things that are happening. And when the younger ones see the adults are willing to listen and are willing to avoid those kind of things, they will follow, because they say, monkey see monkey what?
Do.
Right. So children see and children copy what they see. Whether their parents or other adults or even other children do, they copy. But let them copy the right thing. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, for allowing me to
You're very much welcomed, and this is the kind of a response I've been looking for.
Peace to St. Nevis. Peace to all.
Peace to yourself. This is the kind of response that we're looking for. We're going to pause at this point in time, unless there's a caller to take us downtown to give Caesar his credit.
Found the South 98.9.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials, running October 17th through the 30th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Vinegar, just $13.99. Peter Pan Peanut Butter, $12.99. Minute Maid Punches are just $8.99 each. Banquet Chicken, Tenders and Nuggets, $24.99. Essential Everyday Cooking Oil Sprays, $9.99. Essential Everyday Croutons, just $6.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Essential Everyday Ketchup, $4.99. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise is just $19.99. Essential Everyday Applesauce Bowls, $11.99. General Mills Family Size Cereals, $16.99. IGA or Essential Everyday Iodized or Plain Salt, $4.79. Soft Soap Liquid Hand Soap, $6.79. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
And there's someone on the line. Welcome to the program. You're live on Voices.
Good afternoon, Socrates.
Good afternoon, Sister Henry. How are you doing?
I am giving God thanks for his goodness to me.
That's where we start
I want
today.
to thank the workmen from the cable. They came to correct. The internet was dropping in and out, and they came and changed the router. You understand?
Yep.
Because, Lord, without the internet, I don't know how to do. I depend on Alexa tuning to give me the radio stations.
Okay.
And my phone to communicate.
I hear you.
Now, this issue, it comes to a St. Paul's thing, you know.
What's
my daughter lives in St. Paul's. She taught at the St. Paul's preschool. She taught at the primary school and the preschool.
Mm-hmm.
She had a daughter, or she has a daughter, who started from kindergarten in the St. Paul's primary. And that child was bullied mercilessly. When they don't cry in the school, when school over, they're chasing her, pushing her all in the street, and you know how the road is narrow.
Mm-hmm.
The mother go to the school to make complaint, so they're going to deal with it. She went to the mother of the child, it's a boy, right, it's a granddaughter. No, the mother taking it, I don't know if it's a joke or what. When she asked to have the child transferred to another school, they said no. If she want the child to go to another government school, she'll have to send her to a private school.
Wow.
I said, that got to be crazy. Now, she was working at the St. Paul's preschool, you know, and she must go and pay for her child to go to a school in Bastille. That's where the private schools are.
Wow.
To her peace. And the thing was, oh, you know, when she speaks standard English like my children do. Oh, you know, I'm down here, you know, you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
God, that is all she knows, and that's how we all speak. All of my grandchildren speak standard English. I mean, the pushing and the pulling and the fighting of the child. She had to take it further, and they kept saying, and I don't know if it's the same head teacher, but to suggest that she must send the child to a private school. She went to the ministry, and in the end, she was able to get a transfer for the child.
To another government school?
Yes, to Newton Ground School.
It is a serious problem. It's a very serious problem, but I was trying to gauge what the reaction of the parents and guardians should be.
I tell you, the parents, because my daughter went to the mother more than once. I don't understand. Look, I remember I was trying to register one of my granddaughters at the convent school. And they let me know at the registration, if the child pinches anybody or whatever, the first incident, they expel you.
At the convents?
At convent.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to have anybody pushing and hitting people's children as if it's a dolly or something. So you know and your child knows, if you know your child, like, hit and bully and pinch and bite.
You as a parent have an
to
obligation. You as a parent has an obligation to enforce that in the child in terms of the behavior.
Yeah, but to me, the government school need to do more. If you got the same child bullying other people's children, and it reaches the point where you're endangering the child life, trying to push her across the bus when she's going home, you know.
So you got a kick in the belly. She was actually kicked in the belly.
Kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that all of these torment, I call them bullying and torment, must affect the child.
Intimidation.
Intimidation and your emotional state.
You're afraid to go to school next day?
She has no brother and no sister in the school because they're from town.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Now, if she had a bigger brother, so she could have gone for them. You know, so that seems to be the thing down there. The parents are not correcting the children. And bullying can be very dangerous. But the idea of telling the mother, oh, she will, if she wants the child to go to another school, it must be a private school. When you're working for them, penny ain't change. You understand? As
It's
a preschool
difficult.
teacher?
I don't want to ascribe that pattern of behavior to any one particular school because it's a global issue. But you're speaking to something specific. Oh, yeah, I understand that.
They need, a lot of the parents, I don't say all, they need to control the children.
Because
they start in kindergarten and going all the way up.
when you have a reaction from a parent who will walk on the school grounds and actually attack a child, you get a whole different reaction. She has a big person supposed to know better. You can't go to school. Well, I know a man who took a gun on the school compound some years ago because of a similar sort of frustration. So
I'm telling you, because you see, some of these parents, they don't correct the children. Because I remember one time I make my child hit back somebody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Every day come with the same story. Say, all right, well, this thing undone today, you hear me? Because it isn't, every time you come home, you must have the same complaint. He came back right in front of the child. Never do it again, because some of them assume that, oh, if the child do it once. And I remember when my son, when I was in school, I taught kindergarten for 3 years. And I asked the teacher to allow my son, he was 4 years and some months, to allow me to bring him to school where he wasn't registered. And one day, I am in the class, break time, and this child ran from the back of the room, my son was by the door, and pushed him clean out on the concrete, bust up his mouth and so.
Wow.
You know what I did the next day? I took him out and sent him to Epworth School. Because I said to myself, I am not going to lose my job because of some other child. So I just changed the environment, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
But people need to talk to their children because
Somebody
what they're doing...
just sent me a clip reminding me of a song I wrote years ago that Jazzy D had some issue playing. It was called Cut the Ass. Dealing with the discipline of children in school. You know what I mean? We had to go back to that form of discipline.
Some of them want a good cut ass.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them leave home. They're demonic, you know. Some of them...
Thanks, Brenda.
Satan seed, me train them to say. I mean, you leave your house to go to make other people's children life unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be unhappy because, as I always say, hurt people hurt other people. You know,
Yeah,
and
the
so sometimes
counseling
the head teacher may
is
feel frustrated, but...
Very much needed. The frustration of the
Yeah.
parent is kind of you're taxing the
They're
patience.
working, you do something long time, they'll get some good, they'll get a good licking.
Okay.
But when you got all these policies and the parents just as bad as the children, nobody tell you beat up on your child. Talk to the child. Talk to your child because my children can't go and do them foolishness.
All
Talk to the child.
I want to play a song. I want to play a
unbearable-
song for you and get your reaction.
Sure.
All right? I know you're not big on Calypso, but I'm going to have Jams to play a song for you and get your reaction.
If you got them, look, now I tell some people they wait until they go to jail to get it, you know.
Say again?
They wait until they go in the jail they have to get the licking.
I see.
I have seen it myself, you know.
Mhm.
I have seen it. They could talk back and carry on and whatnot. When they go in India and they try and talk back and carry on, they get some good back.
Different story. Have a next call? Okay.
All right, then.
Okay, thank you, Sister Henry. But in the meantime, because we have like 60 minutes to go, I want to let Jams to play this track just to get a reaction from Cal Brown and the other guys out there saying what they hear Calypso. So drop it for me, please.
Conspiracy against the poor and the needy by the powerful and mighty to keep the poor in poverty. Just look at their policy, clearly designed to squeeze and keep poor people on their knees so we can't get at ease. They keep raising the price of food and utilities, and though they should, they won't raise a salary. Why is life getting harder and harder? Why is poor people still catching hell? Lord, put a hand, for things are not going well. And if you dare to speak your mind, you could be sent home at the same time. Knowing your job is on the line, you have to grin and bear it. As a single mother with mouth to feed, I have to see to my children's need. Though it causes my heart to bleed, I grin and bear it. Things are not going well when even big lights is catching hell. Though he said he won't be compelled to grin and bear it, no one seems able to tell when they will lift the spell. Big lights say it's time to rebel, for things are not going well. Every morning I pray for the Lord to show me the way before taking up my cross to face another day. My rent is now overdue, so I'm waiting on the little susu. Water, light bill and cable will come from my side hustle. There are times when my body don't feel up to it, but in my mind I know that I cannot quit. Come rain, come shine, I must stick to the grind. It's a living hell, things are not going well. And if you dare to speak your mind, you could be sent home at the same time. Knowing your job is on the line, you have to grin and bear it. As a single mother with mouth to feed, I have to see to my children's need. Though it causes my heart to bleed, I grin and bear it. Things are not going well when even big lights is catching hell. Though he said he won't be compelled to grin and bear it, no one seems able to tell when they will lift the spell. Big lights say it's time to rebel, for things are not going well. Clearly one job wouldn't do, so now I'm working too. Added to the little susu, still I'm barely getting through. I know it's my axe to grind, so I am resigned to fight for what is mine. In these struggling times, I pray that all leaders would be more compassionate, not supporters, but to the less fortunate. Far too many of us are struggling. By your complaints, you could tell. If you're listening, you know things are not going well. And if you dare to speak your mind, you could be sent home at the same time. Knowing your job is on the line, you have to grin and bear it. As a single mother with mouth to feed, I have to see to my children's need. Though it causes my heart to bleed, I grin and bear it. Things are not going well when even Big Lights is catching hell. Though he said he won't be compelled to grin and bear it. No one is able to tell when they will live to spell. Big Lights say it's time to rebel, for things are not going well.
And we go back to the phone lines after hearing from Sister Clarence. Good day, caller 11 Voices.
Good afternoon, King. How are you doing?
Not too bad, Mr. Hunter. How are we doing?
Strong and sensitive topic that you have crossed your line this morning.
The bullying or the robotics?
It's a very strong, sensitive topic that some people, not some people, most of us, all of us have to be careful that our emotion don't get away with us.
Correct.
And we must use all the necessary tools that we have to facilitate ourselves. The same children that we claim that we love so much, when parents have them for vacation, they cannot wait to send them back to the teachers. Some parents practically are very scared of the children. And so instead of the children, they're training the children training and control them.
I see.
Johnny, come, get up out your bed and eat your breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, you're not hungry? I mean to say, Johnny, have not eat for the day. Johnny, take up you, come out here, come eat right now and go clean up the yard and do something.
Mm-hmm.
Parents have to be in charge. And that same Johnny that they cannot control, if somebody do something to Johnny, they're going to be the first person to reach to look for him.
Okay.
If they have Johnny arrested, you see him cross by the police station, you think his mothers of Salem brought the children to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And the children become Sunday school children soon as they get in trouble. They ignore all the signs, and when trouble comes, they start running away. I believe that going forward, there should be some surveillance cameras in schools to see the activities of what's happening and show it to the parents, because children have double standard, triple standard, if you like, one for home, one for school, one for on the street, and so on. And you need those to put in evidence just in case the child start reacting. We need to use the police because there's an extension. I think the lady was in charge of it. What's her name? The inspector. No, I think she retired. I think Samson now is the sergeant of it now.
Okay.
And we need to have more.
Is that truancy officer?
And involvement with the police with that. And the other thing is, when they go before a magistrate court, which should be juvenile court, the parents, if they break your property, King, the parents have to pay. If the children do something and they commit certain offense at a certain time, give the parents 2 weeks in jail or something. Let the parents feel something. They love their children so much. Show your love. Show how much you love your children. And if necessary, take the child into custody where you have some kind of guidance and so on for a while. So people have to feel there's a privilege to live in society, but it goes with responsibility. And once you have the privileges, you have to be able to be responsible for your action. Parents have to start clamping down on the children and stop bribing them to get to do things what they want to do and conveniently and pretend how much they love them. If you go to the cemetery, last thing I will tell you, if you go to the cemetery now, the amount of tombstone you will see that I have never seen in my lifetime, those are tombstone of conscience.
of
because
conscience.
somebody can afford it. Conscience.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you could have done for those before they leave, you start showing how much
Try to
you love
compensate
and
now.
how much you care, and you did not show them. You go across the jail to visit them, to show them how much you love them, and you did not show them to prevent them and keep them from going there.
Mm-hmm.
Prevent them from getting involved or getting crossed the path
Tombstones
of
of
law enforcement,
conscience.
lawbreakers. Do it now. Start while it's early. Let us be more kind and gentle to each other and be more law-abiding citizens, because we in your rights begin mine. And if you think that you're bad and you want to bully somebody because they get involved with your trial without getting involved with the police, you will end up in jail. And who's going to protect your child outside here when you're in jail?
A lot of it,
because the law will have to come down and deal with you.
A lot of it comes down to parenting.
I think I've said enough, so I'll listen
And
to
I appreciate
it.
it. I appreciate it. I like the point about tombstones of conscience. But my point is that a lot of it comes down to parenting. Okay? Because one of my sister, my elder sister, and I were raised by the same parents with the same disciplines. Right? And she will be talking to her kids. Ben, I tell you cleanly, Junior gonna watch it over and over. I just walk into the space, Ben. Yes, uncle. Your mother spoke to you? Yes, uncle. That was it. And it was done. Let's see if we can get on this call on the line. Could they call your live on voices?
So I'm going to try to make this as quickly as possible.
Right.
I remember a number of years ago, okay? It was either in the Democrat or in the Observer, one out of the two, where they ran an article. And they quoted Mrs. Rita Cable, who was then the principal of the Barnstable High School, of the Barnstable. And they quoted her as saying, teachers who teaches in the government schools are the ones who would quicker send their children to private schools than those who are not teaching in the government schools. And that spoke volumes to me.
Okay.
And it just reinforced to me the teachings of the Bible.
Okay.
It only reinforced it even much more. You know, teachers who teach in the government school are the ones who are quicker to send their children to private schools than those who don't teach in government schools.
Figure get your point. Not a problem, but I appreciate that though. Right? But I was saying it comes down to parenting, because my sister would be mollycoddling the kids. I would speak to them once. Didn't have to raise my voice. Ben, yes, uncle. Your mother spoke to you? Yes, uncle. And it was done. And she'd be over and over. Ben, I try to talk to you. Junior, try to talk. They won't take her on. Let me show up. My grandkids in Anguilla. I get to the house. Grandpa, I behave, you know. I behave because I don't know what time it is. I don't play with unruly kids. And there's no abuse. There's a thin line between discipline and abuse. Knowing the difference makes all the difference. Just a look. Back in the day, you get to look and you got the message. But to be a bully at home, and then you take that in school because you copy what you see at home, take it in school, and there are no consequences. If you're not exposed to corporal punishment, very easily you become a candidate for capital punishment. It starts in the home. But you, the parents, must know and understand your role. But if you yourself are a child, you cannot be a parent. So it's an ongoing problem. And some parents would want to take the battle to the schoolyard. It's the wrong approach. Counseling has to be part of this. Sitting down, having this discussion. If you're a repeat offender in terms of being a bully, then it's a different case. Let's take this call to see what we can get from this. Good day, call your live on voices.
Good afternoon, Socrates.
Good afternoon, sir.
You're listening to Caribbean News this morning?
The Caribbean what?
Did you listen to Caribbean News this morning?
No, I didn't. Update me.
There's a minister from Trinidad. He's telling the Tobago mothers straight to the face, they are the problem to the bad children problem. Stop pretending that the children are angels and do what they have to do to stop the children them from getting in trouble. And we need to do that throughout the whole Caribbean. We tell them straight to the face, it's a look. Oil is the problem to the children problem. Oil is who makes the children them bad. Stop putting all your Chinese angels when they are not. He said it on the news. If you listen to the news, you hear it. This morning news. He said they are the problem to the children. Problem. And they must stop what they're doing and make the children know that they are wrong in the things they are doing. Thank you.
I want to end on that note because we're actually out of time, but that was a very salient point to end this particular topic on, because sometimes there are persons in government who need to take that position. As Timothy Harris said some years ago, when your child gets in problem with the law, don't come to me. And he was right. You are the parent at home. You have to deal with that. If you have to wait until he gets in problem with the law to come to me to help bail him out, you got a problem on that point. We want to thank all our viewers, our listeners, those who contributed to the program today. God's willing, on Friday morning, we'll continue the national debates. Peace, love, and a much, much brighter tomorrow.
Double the cash back. Double the groceries. Double the savings. Only at Hortsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Happening now, when you make a higher purchase, you'll get double cash back coupons for double the free groceries. Are you serious? Shop for the furniture and appliances you need, and we'll help you fill your fridge and kitchen too.